A boy and a girl finished drinking and fell asleep next to each other. Suddenly, the girl moved closer to the boy. He wanted to push the girl away, but she moved closer and hugged him tightly. They were not lovers, but childhood friends. The boy had secretly loved the girl for 20 years. The boy was Han Seon-woo. He was a photographer. Yoon-so was a composer. The two were childhood friends. Yoon-so loved taking pictures. Every photo Seon-woo took of Yoon-so was the best. Today, Yoon-so was called by the exhibition to announce the results of the song she had stayed up all night to write. Before leaving, she did not forget to ask Seon-woo if she looked good in her outfit. Seon-woo answered indifferently, so she went up to lift Seon-woo's face. After Seon-woo complimented her, she left. But when Yoon-so arrived, the exhibition rejected her song. They wanted a song about unrequited love. Although she wrote it very well, the melody was too cheerful. Yoon-so didn't want to waste the opportunity, so she asked them for 2 weeks. She would definitely finish it in 2 weeks. But writing a song about unrequited love was really difficult for Yoon-so because she had never had unrequited love before. Yoon-so had spent so much time writing music, but now the composer criticized her, making her very sad. She asked Seon-woo to go to his friend's bar to drink. She was both angry and complained to Seon-woo. She said that if we had feelings, we should be brave enough to confess. Why did it have to be a unrequited melody? Why did it have to be sad and heartbreaking? Hearing that, Seon-woo wanted to express his feelings, but he didn't dare to say it and swallowed it back. He told Yoon-so that unrequited love is when we really love someone but can't say it. Want to say it but our heart doesn't listen to reason. Hearing that, Yoon-so said that he seemed to have experience with unrequited love. Who was that girl? Jennifer? Sophia? Or is it Elizabeth? Seon-woo replied that it was Jennifer. Yoon-so had no idea that the person Seon-woo had a crush on was her. After learning that Seon-woo was someone who understood the feeling of unrequited love, Yoon-so wanted him to come to her house for 2 weeks to help her write lyrics. But Seon-woo immediately refused. After that, on the way back, Yoon-so almost got hit by a car. Luckily, Seon-woo pulled her back in time. Although it was just friendship, it was getting more and more romantic. Right, everyone? After that, the two of them went claw machine together. Yoon-so said that if they could get a teddy bear, Seon-woo would have to come to her house for 2 weeks. But they kept picking up toys but still couldn't get any. After playing, Seon-woo took Yoon-so home. Before leaving, Yoon-so told Seon-woo to be honest with his feelings. She told him to boldly confess to Jennifer. While Seon-woo was on the way home, the roommate texted that his girlfriend was coming over, so he told Seon-woo to sleep outside the workplace. So Seon-woo had to return to work. Seon-woo opened his laptop, then stared at Yoon-so in the picture. He remembered the time 4 years ago when he had planned to confess to Yoon-so. When they went to the restaurant to eat and watch the results of the photography contest. When he saw Seon-woo coming in second place, Yoon-so got angry and said it was unfair. It was obvious that Seon-woo's photo should be first. Yoon-so was even angry and wanted to call the organizers. She comforted Seon-woo, but she herself was the one who was most heartbroken because her boyfriend had just broken up with her. Yoon-so's sister said why should she feel sorry for that scumbag when Seon-woo was both good and gentle right here. Seon-woo silently listened to Yoon-so's reply. She said that they couldn't love each other because she was afraid that they would break up. Not having anyone by her side at that time made her even more heartbroken. Hearing that, Seon-woo didn't confess his feelings anymore. This was also the reason why Seon-woo refused to confess to Yoon-so and refused to come to her house. Because of what Yoon-so said, Seon-woo just wanted to secretly protect her. The next morning, Seon-woo came to Yoon-so's house. Because Seon-woo's roommate brought his girlfriend to stay with him for a few days. Seon-woo had no place to stay, so he had to go to Yoon-so's place to help her write lyrics. He helped her clean the room and even became a chef. The two of them cleaned together. After cleaning, one cooked and the other ate. Yoon-so tasted a bite and found it delicious. The two of them drank together again. Yoon-so had drunk too much. He told her to go back to her room, but she wanted to sleep there. Seon-woo was afraid that Yoon-so would get cold, so he gently covered her with a cotton blanket. After Yoon-so got drunk, she hugged Seon-woo tightly and slept until morning. The sunlight shone on their faces. After 20 years, this was the first time they had such close contact. The two of them looked at each other in embarrassment. Seon-woo is truly the type of person who is extremely delicate. After Yoon-so finished brushing her teeth, Seon-woo finished cooking breakfast. So the two of them ate breakfast together, but there was still a shy look on their faces. To ease the tense and awkward atmosphere, the two of them talked about many things. Then they wrote music music together. Yoonso asked him if he wanted to listen to the demo. Then Yoonso played it for Seon-woo to listen to. Seon-woo's eyes kept looking at Yoonso with great affection. But Seon-woo said that what she wrote wasn't really that deep. Then he explained his unrequited love to help Yoonso write music. Unrequited love is awkward, but we can also feel hurt. Yoonso asked him why. Seon-woo replied that it would be sad for someone we can't touch with our fingertips. Yoonso heard that and lightly touched Seon-woo's hand with her finger and then held his hand. Just hold hands like this. Why be shy about unrequited love? After that, Yoonso asked Seon-woo to go out for some fresh air. They talked happily as they walked. Yoonso once again asked about the girl Jennifer. Yoonso asked Seon-woo if he could only touch that girl Jennifer's finger. Seon-woo replied that he would do whatever she liked. Yoonso said she liked it too. Seon-woo asked what she liked. He thought Yoonso would say she liked him, but she said she liked chocolate. After that, Seon-woo took her to eat chocolate. At that time, two kids were cycling back and forth after school, making the two talk about their past. Seon-woo said that Yoonso didn't know how to ride a bike back then, so he had to hold her bike for her all the time. But Yoonso said that was in the past and now she can even drive a car. Yoonso then went back to get the car to take Seon-woo for a walk. Unexpectedly, she drove into someone else's lane and was scolded. Then Yoonso asked Seon-woo if she was cold. Yoonso bent down to turn on the car to fix it. Seon-woo was starting to worry about her driving skills. At that moment, the composer called Yoonso and said he wanted to meet her to discuss her songwriting. Yoonso immediately went there and brought Seon-woo along. When they got there, the composer thought they were lovers and apologized for disturbing their date. But Yoonso immediately explained that they were just close friends. Then the composer gave them water to drink. Yoonso received a bottle of orange juice. Knowing that Yoonso didn't like orange juice, Seon-woo snatched the bottle from her hand. But Yoonso wanted to be polite, so she pretended to say she liked orange juice. Then the two of them kept pulling back and forth. Then Seon-woo directly drank the whole bottle of water. While the two of them were discussing, Seon-woo felt jealous, so he came up with all sorts of tricks to ruin them, such as blowing and then smashing the water bottle to intentionally make a sound. But these tricks could not escape the composer's eyes. Then he suggested that Yoonso ask her friend about her secret crush. On the way back, because of Seon-woo's impolite actions, the two had an argument. Seon-woo immediately asked Yoonso to let him get off the car and then he walked home. But then Yoonso bought a gift and went to find Seon-woo to make peace. To show her sincerity, Yoonso decided to make a meal to invite Seon-woo. But when they returned home, they found a dozen oranges on the table. When they turned around, they saw that Yoonso's mother had returned. Yoonso's mother learned a type of fortune-telling abroad, so she pulled the two together to practice a bit. After Seon-woo drew the tarot card, Yoonso's mother discovered that Seon-woo had a secret crush on a girl, and that she was very sincere. When the third card was turned up, it turned out that the person Seon-woo loved was the person next to him. This mother immediately understood everything. Before leaving, she gave Seon-woo a tarot card. After that, Yoonso and Seon-woo composed music and watched movies together. They were together and always understood each other. They were like a couple destined by heaven. That night, Seon-woo was taking a bath when his phone suddenly rang. Yoonso saw that it was someone she knew and picked up the phone. It turned out to be Seon-woo's partner. The other end of the line said they urgently needed photos from Seon-woo's computer. Because it was so urgent, the other end of the line asked Yoonso to help send the email. After sending it, Yoonso was surprised to find that Seon-woo had all of her photos from the past years on his computer. Then she clicked to view each photo from each year. Yoonso didn't even know about these photos. Only then did she know that the girl named Jennifer that Seon-woo had a crush on before was probably her. At that moment, Yoonso thought that Jennifer was definitely her. At this moment, Seon-woo also came out of the bathroom. To be more certain of her assertion, Yoonso asked Seon-woo countless questions about Jennifer, but Seon-woo didn't seem to want to answer. He said that he would take care of his unrequited love. Yoonso was writing music today, but she couldn't concentrate. She wrote one page after another when she suddenly remembered something. Yoonso searched for a long time and finally took out a book. It turned out that inside the book were photos of Yoonso and Seon-woo. Yoonso remembered that when she was in school, Yoonso had a camera that her mother gave her, but she didn't know how to take pictures, so she gave it to Seon-woo. And that was also the first photo that Seon-woo took of Yoonso. On the other side, Seon-woo was at work when his roommate informed him that a famous foreign photographer really liked his photos, so they wanted to invite him to participate in a travel exhibition to take pictures for them. At first, Seon-woo was also very surprised and happy, but then he asked his friend if he should go. His roommate said what's wrong with him. He definitely has to go. This is an extremely rare opportunity. It can help Xian Wu change his life, then become a famous photographer known by many people. But Xian Wu is still hesitant. If he goes, it means he will have to leave Yunso. So he decided to confess to Yunso before leaving. On this side, Yunso also just received good news that the song she wrote is progressing very well. So the composer wants to take her to meet a famous singer. Yunso is extremely happy. So she immediately goes to the restaurant she often goes to share the joy with the owner and his wife. The owner wondered why Xian Wu didn't come here to celebrate, but Yunso said she hadn't informed Xian Wu yet. When mentioning Xian Wu, Yunso was silent for a moment and then asked the owner and his wife how many years they had been friends before becoming husband and wife. The boss said that the two of them had been friends for 10 years before getting married. The boss's husband asked Yunso, why did you suddenly ask this? Xian Wu had already confessed to her, but Yunso immediately denied it. She said that she didn't want their friendship to suddenly disappear, and she also didn't want to hurt Xian Wu in love because he was very important to her. Then Yunso asked the boss why everyone knew that Xian Wu liked her. Seeing this, the boss said that everyone knew that Xian Wu really liked Yunso, only Yunso herself didn't know. Just by looking at Xian Wu's eyes, they could guess. After Yunso returned home, Xian Wu suddenly gave her a bouquet of flowers and apologized for answering her question rudely earlier. He also took the initiative to answer Yunso's question this morning. He said that he realized that he had started loving that girl Jennifer 8 years ago and maybe even longer. He would definitely confess to her because she had always been his unconditional supporter. Yunso was very confused when she heard these words. She began to worry, not knowing how to face Xian Wu's confession. Yunso had deliberately gone out early to avoid Xian Wu's confession. She quietly left the house. She found that Xian Wu had already prepared breakfast for her. When she went out, he was already in the garden fixing her old bicycle. Yunso said that it was fine to throw it away. She wouldn't ride that bicycle anymore anyway. At this moment, Yunso was worried, feeling like Xian Wu was about to confess to her. So she quickly interrupted Xian Wu. She said that she was very busy today, so he didn't need to wait for her to come back. She was really busy today. After saying that, she hurriedly left. That day, after meeting the singer, Yunso went out to dinner with the composer. After the party ended, Yunso was afraid that Xian Wu would confess his love to her when she got home. So she decided to continue hanging out with the producer, ignoring Xian Wu who was waiting for her at home. He finished fixing his bicycle and stood dejectedly in the yard. It was almost midnight when Xian Wu finally couldn't hold it in any longer. He took a taxi to the street to find Yunso. He saw the two of them sitting and drinking wine in the restaurant and felt jealous. He deliberately called out Yunso's name. She asked him why he was here. He pretended that he was going to buy wine and just happened to come here. After saying that, he picked up the fork on the table and ate the food on Yunso's plate without a care. The composer saw this and asked Xian Wu if he wanted to order him a portion, but Xian Wu refused. The atmosphere was quite tense at this point. Yunso had to go out to make a phone call, so only the two men were left. The two looked at each other as if they wanted to attack each other. Just like the restaurant owners said, Xian Wu's expression of liking Yunso was too obvious. How could anyone not see it? The composer suddenly stood up. Xian Wu thought he was going to do something to him, so he picked up the wine bottle to attack. But it turned out that he was picking up the warm towel that Yunso dropped. The composer also told Xian Wu that he had expressed his feelings for Yunso earlier. He said he would slowly get to know Yunso and thanked Xian Wu for reminding him the other day that Yunso didn't like oranges. That helped him understand her preferences a little better. Hearing these words, Xian Wu felt sad because the girl he had been pursuing for so many years was about to be taken away by someone else. Xian Wu picked up the wine bottle on the table and asked Yunso if liked this type. Xian Wu replied that she seemed to like it. But Xian Wu knew better than anyone that Yunso didn't like wine. She often got headaches after drinking it. At this time Yunso finished making a phone call and went out. Seeing the two men's faces still quite tense, Yunso said that she felt dizzy and wanted to go home. The composer offered to take Yunso home. Then he asked where Xian Wu lived so he could take them both home. But Xian Wu seemed unhappy. He turned away and told Yunso to go home first. Until night, when Xian Wu still hadn't returned, Yunso called him but couldn't reach him. After dawn, Yunso went to Xian Wu's studio to look for him. But Xian Wu had already left. Yunso learned from Xian Wu's colleagues that Xian Wu was favored by photographers and was about to go abroad to participate in a travel exhibition. This was the only only chance in Xian Wu's life. If she cooperated with them, Xian Wu would become famous both domestically and internationally. Yunso also secretly thought that this might be the right path for Xian Wu. She had just returned home when she saw Xian Wu standing next to a repaired bicycle. The body of the bicycle had been repainted like a new one. Xian Wu had given it to Yunso as a gift. But when Xian Wu was about to say something, Yunso quickly changed the topic. She mentioned that when she was in high school, she gave Xian Wu a camera. From then on, she wanted him to become a famous photographer and spread his wings to fly high. She would forever carry the friendship of the two to support Xian Wu. Hearing the word friendship, Xian Wu's heart trembled and he didn't have the courage to say what he wanted to say. But he still tried to smile. He understood the hidden meaning in Yunso's words. After Yunso finished speaking, Xian Wu continued to say what he was about to say. Yunso lowered her head, a little scared. She was afraid of hearing a confession because she didn't know how to respond. But luckily, all Xian Wu said was to tell her to take care because tomorrow he would be going abroad. Yunso breathed a sigh of relief and congratulated Xian Wu. The bright sunlight covered up the secret of the two. The next day, Yunso sent Xian Wu off to the bus station. After Xian Wu got in the car and left, Yunso recalled the feeling she had 8 years ago when she sent Xian Wu to the army. Before they parted, Xian Wu always reminded her to take care of herself, to keep her body warm in the winter, and to eat well. At that time, Yunso said that Xian Wu kept nagging her. But when she saw him get in the car and leave, she felt extremely lonely, and she even cried. That feeling repeated itself again and remained unchanged. At this time, she realized that she had fallen in love with Xian Wu. She seemed to know what unrequited love felt like. Perhaps this would also help her songwriting become more profound and soulful. Now she was left alone and took care of herself. She cooked for herself and did not forget to take pictures and send them to Xian Wu. She wrote songs every day and often met with composer Kang Wu. Today, Yunso was informed by Kang Wu that the famous singer Tisu wanted to work with her. Yunso was so happy that she went to the restaurant to share the joy with the owner. The owner was also a fan of Tisu and was very happy for Yunso. The owner said that it would be great to have Xian Wu at such a happy time. They asked if he still contacted her often, but Yunso sadly said that Xian Wu only texted her once every 1 to 2 weeks. When she returned, Yunso did not forget to text Xian Wu to share her joy. Yunso stood alone on the rooftop. She remembered the times when she and Xian Wu were together. She imagined Xian Wu was always by her side, which made her want to cry. The next morning, she went to Xian Wu's office and asked Zhong He to get Xian Wu's ID photo from his phone that he had taken for her earlier. While waiting, Yunso accidentally saw a picture of herself hanging on the wall and also the tarot card that her mother gave to Xian Wu. At this time, Xian Wu also called Zhong He. Yunso wanted to talk to Xian Wu but lost contact due to poor signal. Later, Yunso's phone rang. She thought Xian Wu was calling her, but it turned out to be composer Kang Wu. He asked Yunso to come to the hotel and it turned out that he wanted to express his feelings for Yunso. But Yunso said that she had also had feelings for Kang Wu, but in her heart she liked the best friend who had been by her side for 20 years. She said that even though she was with Kang Wu, her mind was always somewhere else, so she rejected him. Yunso thought that if she rejected Kang Wu, he would no longer cooperate with her in work. But Kang Wu happily said that he could not stop working with a genius composer like Yunso because of that. On the contrary, when he heard Yunso's rejection, he felt relieved. After Yunso returned home, she saw a pair of shoes in front of the door and Xian Wu's doll. She thought he had returned. It turned out that Yunso's mother had come to visit Yunso but found the room a mess. While cleaning the room, Yunso's mother found the doll. Yunso asked her mother to read tarot cards. Yunso's mother unfolded a pile of cards. Then Yunso drew a card. Yunso's mother explained the meaning of each card. The first card meant that Yunso would always have new opportunities at work. Coincidentally, the day before Yunso had also been announced to collaborate with singer Tisu. The second card was a determined heart, which meant that one must know how to seize the opportunity when it comes. The third card was a card similar to Xian Wu's. Before that, Yunso's mother explained that this card meant that the two of them would always be together forever. In the end, Yunso chose the determined heart card. Yunso decided to confess her feelings to Xian Wu. She texted Xian Wu to call her back when she read the message. She had something to tell him. The next morning, Yunso took the bike that Xian Wu had fixed for her to go for a walk. Yunso happened to pass by the flower shop and looked at the flowers that Xian Wu used to buy for her. Suddenly, Xian Wu came out with a bouquet of flowers. The two looked at each other. It turned out that due to a change in plans, Xian Wu had temporarily returned to the country for 10 days. He bought Yunso a lot of chocolate chocolate and also gave her a book and a pen to help her write music. Yoon-so blamed him for not calling her often. Seon-woo said that he had tried to call many times but because of the poor signal he couldn't get through. Yoon-so occasionally glanced at the bouquet of flowers thinking that Seon-woo had bought it for her. It turned out that it was for the boss and there was also a necklace. It turned out that today was the boss's birthday. The boss had gone back to his hometown for something and had forgotten his wife's birthday. A while later, Seon-woo went out to answer the phone. Yoon-so and the boss were talking. Suddenly the phone went out. It turned out that the boss intentionally created a surprise for his wife's birthday. The boss put a ring on his wife. Everyone in the store clapped and wished the boss a happy birthday. After the birthday party ended, the two walked home. Seon-woo asked Yoon-so what she had texted him about, but Yoon-so kept stuttering and couldn't say it. So she said that she just wanted to remind him to be careful when going out while he was abroad. After taking Yoon-so home, Seon-woo also returned. The next morning, Yoon-so went to the studio to find Seon-woo. She also bought a lot of cakes, but she saw that there were already a lot of cakes on the table. Jong-hee said that a female friend bought them for Seon-woo. Suddenly, a beautiful girl called and asked Seon-woo to help her with something. Yoon-so asked who she was. Jong-hee said that was Seon-woo's photographer friend. She followed Seon-woo to help him with his work. After talking to Yoon-so, she found out that the girl's name was Kim Soo-yeon. Seeing Yoon-so and Soo-yeon working together, Yoon-so felt extremely jealous but still pretended to smile. That night, Yoon-so asked Seon-woo out but he told her to come to the studio to have dinner together. When she arrived at the studio, Yoon-so saw Seon-woo and Soo-yeon working together but she was ignored, so she was very upset. Yoon-so deliberately did enough to get their attention but no one noticed her. Yoon-so saw that and picked up the camera to take a look, but Soo-yeon reminded her that the camera was very expensive and very fragile. Yoon-so smiled and put it down. Then Yoon-so picked up the photo tape on the table to take a look, but Soo-yeon reminded her again. A moment later, Jong-hee also went to buy food. Seon-woo sat next to Soo-yeon. He also reminded Soo-yeon to drink beer or she would have a headache. Seeing the best friend clearly understand another girl, Yoon-so felt a little unhappy. She left before the party but sat outside looking at the cards. Yoon-so hesitated whether she should tell Seon-woo about her feelings. Seon-woo and Soo-yeon also came out. Yoon-so saw this and hid. Only then did Soo-yeon ask Seon-woo to date her, but he refused. He said they were just colleagues. But Soo-yeon was extremely stubborn. She said that as long as he didn't agree to date, she wouldn't stop asking. Yoon-so, who was hiding nearby, was extremely angry. She just wanted to jump out and fight Seon-woo. After Soo-yeon took a taxi back, Seon-woo told Yoon-so to come out quickly. It turned out that he had discovered Yoon-so hiding there beforehand. Seon-woo wanted to call a car for Yoon-so, but she said she wanted to walk home with him. On the way back, Yoon-so asked Seon-woo why he rejected Soo-yeon. She was a beautiful girl. Yoon-so asked Seon-woo if she was the one who wanted to date him instead of Soo-yeon. Would he agree? Seon-woo replied that of course not, because she once said that if they didn't want to break up forever, they had to stay best friends. Yoon-so just bowed her head in silence when she heard that. When she got home, Yoon-so only thought about Seon-woo. The next morning, Yoon-so walked on the familiar street. She remembered her college days with Seon-woo. These things made her even more determined. So Yoon-so texted Seon-woo to come to the owner's restaurant. When Seon-woo arrived, only Yoon-so was there. It turned out that today was the owner's day off, so Yoon-so borrowed their shop for a night. Seon-woo wondered why, and Yoon-so said that she had something to tell him. Yoon-so took out a book and said that she was writing music but couldn't think of the last line because of him. Seon-woo was completely bewildered and didn't understand what was going on. Yoon-so began to express her feelings for him. Yoon-so said that she cried a lot when he went abroad. She realized that it was love. She felt guilty for not realizing his feelings sooner. He must have suffered so much having to peek at her back for 8 years. After Yoon-so said these words, Seon-woo finally fell in love. He continued writing the last verse of the song to end their love story. Seon-woo took the initiative to give Yoon-so a sweet kiss. Finally, the two best friends were happy together. That time was really long, having to go through many storms. Finally, the two could be together for life. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and follow the channel to support us and watch the next videos as quickly as possible.